What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ravi Wadden, and in this video, I'm gonna show you how you can effectively use your Capital One Venture X miles. So a lot of people ask me, how do you make the most of the credit card points or miles that you accrue? And in this video, I'm gonna show you how I maximize my Capital One Venture X miles for a nonstop flight, a round trip flight from Seattle to Mexico City. So essentially, instead of booking through the Capital One travel portal, I actually transferred my miles to Virgin Atlantic, and I'll show you how I did that and why I chose Virgin Atlantic and how I got to choose Virgin Atlantic. So I'll show you how many miles I would have had to use had I booked through the Capital One travel portal. I'll show you a website called points.me, which I leveraged, which identifies the best and most efficient way to use your points to get from point A to point B. And then in section 3, I'll show you why I booked through Virgin Atlantic, because essentially I was able to book the same flight for far less miles and a little bit of money out of pocket. So with that, let's jump into the computer and I'll show you how it was done. All right, so here's the Capital One website. It's the rewards page, and as you can see, I have 55,238,000 miles. And the reason I only have 55,238 miles not only is because I transferred 60,000 miles yesterday, but I'm gonna show you how I transfer those points and why I transferred those points. So let's go ahead and book a trip. And I wanted a round trip flight from Seattle to Mexico City. We're gonna be departing on February 2nd and returning on February 6th. I'll hit done. Search flights. Now here, as you can see, I have a bunch of flights to Mexico City. I'm actually going to do a non-stop flight, so let's go back up to the top. We're going to hit on stops, and we'll do no stops only. So as you can see here, this is the only flight on that day. It's operated by Aeromexico. It leaves at 9:30 a.m., arrives there at 5:05 p.m., so great flight times. Now you can see that Economy Classic right here is going to cost me $1,063 out of pocket, or if I use my Capital One miles, it's going to cost me 106,250 miles. Now the objective anytime you're trying to transfer your credit card miles or your credit card points is to extract even more value out of those miles or points. So if you traditionally get, a 1-to-1 ratio, so 1 mile equals 1 cent, you want to get more value out of it. So you want that 1 mile to maybe equal 2 cents or 3 cents, and that way you're getting, 2 times, 3 times the savings, and that's what I was able to do, and I'm going to show you how I did that. Now, as you can see here, I only have 55,238 miles, so that doesn't even cover half of the cost of this ticket, since it's $1,063 out of pocket. Now, this is where things get really interesting. I used this website for the first time. It's called Point.me, and it's a better way to book with points. Now, I don't have a monthly subscription to Points.me. As you can see, they have a ton of different plans that you can choose, but you can actually get a starter pass for $5. It gives you standard plan access for 24 hours, as you can see here, and it's a great value for a single trip. So I essentially leveraged Point.me, and when I put my flight information in, I did Seattle to Mexico City. I used the same dates. It essentially told me that I needed to book through Virgin Atlantic. That was the recommendation that it gave me. It told me to take my Capital One miles, transfer them to Virgin Atlantic, and I'd be able to book the same flight for 31,000 Virgin Atlantic miles and about $140 out of pocket. Now I'm going to go to the Virgin Atlantic website, and I'm going to show you how this works and why it just makes financial sense to use your points by transferring your points over to Virgin Atlantic instead of, leveraging the Capital One travel portal. All right, so here we are on the Virgin Atlantic website. I'm all logged in. I'm going to search for the same flights, flying from Seattle to Mexico. I'm going to fly out on February 2nd. And we'll do returning on February 6th. And one person, not pay with money, we'll do points plus money. Let's do a search. Now, as you can see here, ladies and gentlemen, these are the flights that we ended up actually booking yesterday. It's departing on Friday, February 2nd, returning Tuesday, February 6th. And check this out, ladies and gentlemen. It was only 31,000 Virgin Atlantic miles, or 31,000 Capital One miles, because I just transferred over 62,000 miles since I needed to book 2 tickets for my wife and I paid about $280 out of pocket. When I click on this and click continue, you'll see that it's the same Aeromexico flight, the nonstop flight from Seattle to Mexico City. Let me just wait for this page to load up. As you can see, it's flight 495, leaving at 9:30, 5:05. If I go to the Capital One travel portal, you'll see it's the same exact flight. Now look, if I were to book this flight on the Capital One travel portal, it would have cost me one ticket 106,250 miles. So I would have had to burn all 55,238 miles that I've accrued. I'd have to pay probably another, $450, almost $500 out of pocket just to get this Economy Classic ticket. Whereas with the Virgin Atlantic website, all I did was transfer 31,000 miles over to Virgin Atlantic per person and just paid $140 out of pocket. So now what I'm gonna do is bust out the calculator to show you how much value I'm actually getting out of these points. Now, as I've already mentioned in this video, if I use a Capital One travel portal, I get a 1-to-1 ratio. 1 mile equals, 1 cent. So 10,000 miles gets you about $100 worth of, travel credit on the Capital One travel portal. However, if I transfer these points, I'll take this $1,063 that's out of pocket. I'll plug this into the calculator, 1,063. I'll subtract my out-of-pocket expense on the Virgin flight. The out-of-pocket is $139, so let's subtract, let's just say 140, and that gives me 923. And I divide that by 31,000, and ladies and gentlemen, I get 2.97, almost 3 cents, or 2.9 cents, or about 3 cents of value per mile that I transfer. So I 3x'd the value of one Capital One mile by transferring those points over to Virgin Atlantic. So ladies and gentlemen, before you just take your credit card points or your miles and book through the Chase travel portal or the Capital One travel portal or the Amex travel portal, use a website like point.me and see how you can extract even more value out of those points or miles. Because as you can see here, I got 3x or 3 times the value out of my miles, my Capital One miles, compared to if I had just booked using the Capital One travel portal. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below. Financial knowledge is power. Please like and follow for more.